Come in. Ah, thank you for coming by so quickly. Please, have a seat. I wanted to touch base with you about our schedule for the Night House project. That's the one. We're still finalizing our purchase of the location, but since it falls outside of the agreed-upon territory between ours and the Browning estate, negotiations are in order. Well, we have a fairly good relationship with the Brownings, so I don't think it should be a problem. But I want you to be there to shadow me in the meeting. It's about time you get a feel for how these things are done. Perfect. We're having Adrian Browning over at 8 on Wednesday. Once we've signed the papers for Night House, I'll let you know so we can schedule a walkthrough and start making renovation plans. Before you go, there was actually one other thing I wanted to talk to you about. The other night, when I brought that human for you to heal. Oh, she's doing well. I've had someone keeping an eye on her just to make sure no one from the Lennox clan still has an interest in her. She doesn't seem to remember a thing. But that's not exactly what I wanted to talk to you about. Later that night, when you found out I was injured, what you did was incredibly dangerous, and you took a thoughtless risk by cutting your hand open to feed me like that. Regardless, you need to know the stakes of what you did that night. Offering your blood to a vampire in a weakened state like that could get you killed. Most vampires would not have been able to stop themselves in time. The problem is that you didn't know that when you did it. Not to mention the insubordination. You completely disregarded my... All right, fair enough. What happened that night wasn't entirely your fault. I didn't mean to imply that it was. I just never wanted to put you in that position to begin with. And that's why I hid the wound from you in the first place. But you're right. I shouldn't have taken all of that on by myself. Maybe if I had delegated the task of trancing that girl to Ava, I could have made it to the reserves in time to heal myself. And I shouldn't have hidden the wound from you to begin with. It's just that, besides Henrik, and now you, no one really knows just how personal the investigation into the Lennox clan is to me. At least not to the full extent. They don't know that I'm looking for my killer. And I didn't want anyone to piece it together from my actions that night. If I promise to be more forthcoming with you in the future, will you promise not to try your hand at bloodletting again? Or any other part of your body? Well, if I knew you were going to go to such great lengths to help me feed, I would have at least granted you the pleasure of the initial bite in exchange. I mean, it is a shame that your first experience with a feeding had to be such a pain. Oh, I know there was pain involved. No need to lie to spare my feelings. I could taste it in your blood the first moments of the feed. And, in all seriousness, darling, what you did was no small favor. Thank you for saving my life. I'd like to show my appreciation. Celebrate your first successful job for the Strom Group with a night out to one of our properties. What do you say? Great. There's a speakeasy we own that's magic only we could go to. Ava's really fond of that one. Or I can send you a list if you need a refresher on which ones are available to us. You want to go to Bite? You know that's one of our feeding clubs, right? We own bars and clubs all over the city, darling. Wouldn't you feel more comfortable going somewhere a little less intense? Okay, well, it is your celebration. And I suppose it might be good for you to see how it operates in person. I think Ava's scheduled to be making her rounds there tonight. We can all go together.
So what made you want to come to Bite, Doc? Did your curiosity finally get the best of you? Fixin' for a taste of a vamp's...
Ava.
What? I'm just making polite conversation.
If you wanted to be polite, you can start by not assuming that the only reason they picked this place is to volunteer as a donor. That's none of your business.
All right, point taken. I was just playing, Doc. You don't have to be into the biting part of Bite to have a good time here. But if you happen to wander into one of the private rooms on the second floor, I promise I'll look the other way.
Ava.
See, they appreciate my sense of humor. No harm done.
Right. I almost forgot how similar you two really are. Now let's get inside, shall we? It is a little obvious when you know the secret behind it all, isn't it? But the design of the place is meant to attract a specific demographic. However heavy-handed it might be.
She's right. I mean, some of these humans will only look your way if you're wearing a corset or one of those shirts with the ruffled necks that make you look like a pirate. Luckily, those types come by way less frequently than they did back when we first opened in the 90s. Still, it's nice to be around people who are into the whole vamp thing instead of fearful of it. We get to hide in plain sight, and any fated who come here already know the deal and come to participate.
So, the main floor is the standard dance and bar area for anyone who's looking for the traditional club experience. Then, like Ava mentioned earlier, there are private rooms upstairs where humans who are looking for the full Bite experience can go off with a vampire of their choosing. We're headed to the VIP area on that raised portion of the main floor. Well, I'll go grab us our drinks. I'm guessing you want your usual, Ava?
Are you sure you're a vampire and not an angel, boss?
I'll take that as a yes.
Thanks.
How about you, darling? What would you like to drink? All right, perfect. I'll be right back.
So, I heard you did some good work the other night. Oh, don't be modest. I saw the state that woman was in when Marlo brought her into the van. I don't know many healers who could pull off a stunt like that. I can see why she's taken such an interest in you. I'm glad you joined us. Thank you for being there for her that night. Yeah, I know you were just following orders, but I think you know that I'm not just referring to the way you healed that human.
All right, here's everyone's drinks. What did I miss?
Oh, I was just telling the doc here about back when we used to have theme nights.
That was a disaster, wasn't it? Oh no, it was rather popular with the patrons, but most of the vamps who had to work those events hated it.
Oh, they were just being a bunch of babies. I thought it was fun. Getting into costume, taking on a whole new persona for the guests. Plus, we made a killing off of the tickets for those things.
If I remember correctly, it was Nico who went straight to Henrik to form a complaint when Gwen told everyone they had to come covered in glitter that one time. Theme nights got put on an indefinite hiatus after that.
Oh yeah, I took that night off. I wasn't going to subject myself to finding specks of glitter on my body decades from now. I liked the one where we all got to wear leather, though. Anyway, cheers to the doc for a job well done.
Cheers.
Oh, hold that thought. Hello?
Ava, we need your help kicking out this guest. He's causing a scene upstairs.
No problem. I'll be right there. That was Kayla. Sounds like we have an uncooperative guest who needs an escort off the premises.
Okay. Let me know if you need any help.
Doesn't sound like anything I can't handle. I'll be back in a jiff. You two behave now.
Well, darling, what do you think of the place? I'm glad you're feeling more comfortable now. Oh no. I was thinking something a bit sleeker for Night House's design. I can appreciate the efforts they've gone to making this place feel like a real bat cave, but this aesthetic isn't exactly one size fits all. Besides, the novelty of this place would be lost if there was another exactly like it, don't you think? Well, I hope the drinks are to your liking. They're on me, of course, as thanks. Ava? Yes, she was turned before me. She joined up with the Strom clan at some point in the 90s. Hence why she remembers what some would call the dark ages of this place. Yeah, she's a good friend. And you might not know it by her easygoing temperament, but she's one of the hardest working members of this clan. When Henrik told the other organization members his plans to have me be a second in command, there was a split in the group. Many, especially the older and admittedly more powerful vampires, were insulted that Henrik would choose a newborn to take on his business. But Ava trusted Henrik's judgment. I don't think I would have earned the respect of the clan or the rest of the organization without her help. I'll never forget that. Oh yeah, she gets restless having the same schedule every day, so if I don't need her to head up a bigger job, she tends to go wherever she's needed. Oh. Speak of the devil. What's up, Ava?
Hey, boss. We've got a situation in the alley by the back exit. Requesting your assistance here.
Okay, I'm heading over now. Sorry, darling. It looks like Ava needs some backup after all. Will you be okay by yourself for a bit while we're gone? Okay. I'll be back in a few. If you need another drink, Tim knows you're on my tab.
So the Strom clan has a new pet, do they? They always did have a penchant for taking in strays now that I think about it. My, you're a cute little thing, aren't you? I'm glad I came over to get a better look. And a mouthy one, too. I can see why Marlo keeps you around. The smart ones are always more satisfying to break. Oh, don't you worry, Pat. I was just on my way out. Hopefully we'll run into each other again soon. I know I'll be looking forward to it. Me? Oh, I'm just an old friend.
Darling, I need you to come with me, now. One of our vamps was found injured outside the club. Wooden blade,